Hey guys, this is Janie Charlo and Russell Bruce with another episode of Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. So we are here live north of Miami doing our podcast today, and we are talking about how do we co-create our reality. So we're going to break that down for you guys. I just want to do a quick reminder that this podcast is a podcast that is inspired by everything of the heart and soul. So keep that in mind as we go through this episode, okay? So Russell, let's get started. What does co-creating your reality mean? What does that really mean?
So co-creating your reality is, one, we know who the ultimate creator is. And co-creating your reality is knowing that you play a major part in your reality. So the reality that you see currently, you played a part in it. And we're going to go into detail talking about how that actually occurs. So, regardless of religious persuasion, or non-belief, you are creating your reality. The universe is interactive and it responds to you, and we're going to discuss that.
Yeah. So basically, just like the word says, co-creating, you are co-creating everything that you experience, whether you are aware of that or not. So it's very important to be aware of the thoughts that you think, second by second, then the words that you actually say, and then the actions that you actually take, because all of this is co-creating with the universe. There's a force, there's a power that we cannot see, just like the wind. We can feel the wind, but we can't see it. So the universe it's a force, it's a power that we cannot see, but it is always at work, and it is actually working with you in the things that you are bringing to yourself, or you are bringing to your experience, good and bad. So even if there's something bad that happens, unfortunately those things do happen, and we're like, well, I wouldn't have ever brought that to myself, but actually you did. Whether you are consciously aware of it, you have brought that to yourself. And so we're going to break that down a little bit. And did you want to expound on that part?
Yeah, so when we talk of the universe, you'll hear a lot of people say universe, interexchanging it with, say, God per se, right?
Right.
So, and at the deepest level, God is spirit, spirit is energy, and energy is that one thing that has never been created nor destroyed, right? It just can move, change shape or form. Everything and everybody has energy potential, even a rock, right? So we are all interconnected. So when we say universe, regardless of what your religious persuasion is, it's pretty much the same thing. But, for the lack of a better word, we'll say universe. And it's more universal too.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about co-creating good and bad, right? And how we sometimes will co-create the bad things that happen to our life. And I always like to say these are miscreations. I don't like to say that anything that happens to us is a bad thing, because, some things are happening for our good, whether we realize it or not. Some things do happen for our good. And just at the time, we may not realize it, whether, it's the death of a loved one, whether it's a broken relationship, whatever it is. Sometimes those things can be very painful, but sometimes it is to evolve our souls. And sometimes in pain and healing, you can't see that at the moment. You just only focus on how much it hurts, but those things are to evolve your soul. So I want to talk about miscreations and creating things that we don't really want, or we just we keep missing, just falling short of the creation we really want to have and experience.
Right. You want me to touch on
Yeah,
that?
you can go ahead.
So a lot of times, like if you ask people, about what they want, 9 times out of 10, they start talking about everything that they don't want first. And 9 times out of 10, they really never thought about exactly what it is they want. They know what they don't want.
And you know what you don't want because that's based on something that happened in the past. Like if you were at a job and you dealt with a coworker who was completely lazy, you can say, or hey, at this next job, I do not want a lazy coworker. By you saying I don't want a lazy coworker, that is actually what you're gonna keep drawing into your experience.
Right.
You're gonna keep drawing into your experience a lazy coworker.
Yeah, the universe is interactive. It's gonna respond to your most dominant thought or the object of whatever it is that you're talking about. And I think I mentioned this on another podcast. If you say you're a person who hates hockey or hates football and you Google I hate hockey, I hate football, you're going to get a whole bunch of links about football and hockey. And the universe responds that way. So it's almost like the saying, it says, he who says he's right and he who says he's wrong, or he who says I can and I can't, that they're both right, because the universe is going to give you what you are, not so much what you want. It's going to give you what you're emoting, what your energy and motion is that's going out. And we're no different than this cell phone emitting signals. There's no wires, but there's signals and pictures and stuff are coming in, which is synonymous with like how our thoughts and so forth come in to our minds,
So how do you avoid miscreations? You only focus on what you want to create. And you only have thoughts about what you want to create. You only speak the words that you want to create. You only take the actions that you want to create. Therefore, there's no confusion of the universe. There's no confusion on what you are magnetically drawing to yourself. You're only focusing on the things that you want to have, that you want to experience, and that you want to co-create with this powerful energy that's out here and working for all of us. So you get around miscreations by only focusing on the things that you want to experience in your life.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So, Russell, what are some things that you do on a daily basis that you make sure that this is the experience I want to have? This is the life I want to create. Tell us about 2 or 3 things that you do as a ritual that help you co-create with the universe the life that you want to have.
Okay. Yeah, and consistency is the key. So she said ritual, which is something that you do repetitively, right? And repetition is the mother of skill. So whatever you think about the most or whatever you do the most, those are the things you're going to bring into your reality. So one of the things that I do is start my morning off with the right path. Really, you really need to start the night before you go to bed. You want to start in a positive mind frame. If you have some things that, were left undone, you're upset with somebody, or there was some work that was unfinished, just kind of put it in a situation to when you wake up the next morning, you could start off on a good foot. So I like to wake up first thing in the morning before my feet even hit the ground and I get out of bed, is to, process my thoughts, meditate, and think of things that are positive. Think about having an amazing day. Think about drawing the right people into my life to help me with my goals, things of that nature. Also, we're all on social media, right? This is going to be posted on social media. So one of the things I always do on Instagram when it asks my location, I always put heaven on earth, because I want to bring heaven on earth, for everybody, but definitely for myself. If nobody else wants it, I want it for me. So it's like you speak your own reality. So it's like I'm living a dream life, right?
And just a tidbit with heaven on earth, it's a mindset. Your heaven is a mindset.
It's not a place.
You don't have to wait to die or transcend into another realm beyond this one to experience it. It is here every day. It is the mindset that you choose to have. You can have a heaven mindset or a hell mindset right now, every day, all day. So it's a mindset. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, and I'm talking about this might be something that might be controversial, but Heaven and hell are states of consciousness. They're not places. They're states of consciousness. So like right now, even though we all share this space and time together on this earth, there are people who live in pure hell. You know, and we know some of those people. And then there are people who are living this heavenly existence. So, you know, why not you? You know, why live hell on this earth with expectations that you're gonna live like in a land of milk and honey and on gold streets and all that when you die? You know, what if that was just a bill of goods sold to you to leave you in this this servient position here on earth while other people live heaven? You know, and it's like, that's why it's so important to read, research, and know the truth. But those are some of the things, you know, that I like to do to start my day, and some of the things I do.
Yeah.
And also, one more thing, I also like to put out a lot of positive information. So a lot of the posts and everything I put out there is really for me. Those are things that I use to start my day, you know, my grand risings, things of that nature, to make me feel good about my day. Because energy is what? Positive and negative. So it's like the more positive you put out there, it outweighs the negative. So it's like I put positivity out into the universe because that's what I want to receive back. And I'm telling the rest of the world how I want to be treated, right? Because if I love myself, I show respect to myself, things of that nature, I'm going to get it back in return. So if I want to be out there posting ratchet crap and everything else, guess what kind of people and the energy that you're going to draw back into yourself.
You're going to draw that right back to yourself, and that's going to be a part of your experience. And so in essence, it's placing those boundaries, it's knowing what you desire to have and to experience in your life. And for a lot of people out there, saying no to someone else or something else is saying yes to yourself. So sometimes, yes, you know, friendships come to a cross and you have to make a decision because, you know, you may want to start to experience something different than what that friendship originally was headed down. So, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't mean that the love is not there. It just means that you're co-creating something totally different, a different experience, and nothing is wrong with that. I also wanted to talk about, where do some of our thoughts come from? Because we mentioned earlier that, you know, you want to prevent miscreations by only focusing on the things that you want to happen, and therefore you keep your thoughts on the things you want to happen, the words that you want to happen, and then the actions that you take all on the things that you want to happen. So where do some of the thoughts come from that causes miscreations? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so once again, it's energy, right? So you'll hear, like, if you research, you'll see like a lot of the neuroscientists and you know, psychologists, you know, they're now concluding that, you know, like a lot of these thoughts and so forth, and your brain is more like an antenna, like it's not housed there, like there's not enough brain capacity to hold it. Just like in a phone, you might have 32 or 64 gigabits of space. Well, the brain has its maximum capacity as well, right? So the majority of your consciousness is not housed in the brain, that it's in the ether. We kind of share it. That's why sometimes, you know, like they'll show, if someone comes up with an idea to create a new product or something like that, there's probably like 1,000 people around the globe at the same time to get that same thought, because it's in the ether, and it's all about what frequency you're tapping into. It's kind of similar to like a radio station. Like, you know what your jazz station is, your hip hop, your hard rock, you know, your neo soul, etc. And you know that you have to turn that dial to get into those frequencies. Well, right now, like, we're walking in a room or say outside, and we think that space in between the walls or between buildings or whatever is nothingness, and it's not. Like she said earlier, you could feel the wind even though you can't see it. And there are also radio waves, there are also cellular waves, we have all that, your Wi-Fi. You're walking through this energy field, this plasma reality that we live in, where we're being bombarded with thoughts. Like I could send a text, there's no wire, right? And that picture would get there, voice, everything, you know? So we're no different in the universe. We're like a cell phone, even though we're a greater version of a cell phone. And the universe is emitting signals. And there are beings, you know, whether they're from another galaxy, if you believe in that or not, from another galaxy or whatever, you have positive and negative beings. We refer to them as angels and demons. So you could call them aliens, angels and demons, or whatever. This is the reality that we live in.
That's a good point. I mean, what really is the difference between, let's say, an angel and a demon? It's a vibration, right? It's actions too, right? It's like what one does. One is more in love, and then one is more in fear, right? So it's like, that's a great point. It's about a vibration that you tap into. So that's a really good point.
Yeah, and the whole thing is, Miles Monroe did an excellent sermon one day, and I found it online, where he talked about that, and he said that it was illegal for angels and demons to really reside in this dimension, that they need a body in order for them to be legal. So that's why positive and negative energy tries to find a physical being in order to express itself, right? So, and
it's also why it doesn't really magnetically draw to each other. I mean, you're constantly in a push and pull type situation because the energies are totally different. It's kind of like givers and takers. That's kind of why they normally meet up. Givers and takers is because one give, one take. So yeah,
and that's the whole basis of, say, religion. You know, you have God and the devil. You have this positive force, and then you have the opposing negative force.
Yeah.
You know, and everything in the universe, for the most part, is ruled by positive and negative energy. So, you know, and we have people that are around us. We know who the positive people are, and we know who the negative people are, and we know how they impact our lives. You could walk into a room, and if it's negatively charged, you could feel it.
You can feel it. So it's important when you're creating your reality, you know, whatever it is, and there is no good and bad, honestly, in the universe. I believe that only one energy exists, and that is love, that is God. That's where I reside, that's where I stay. And I believe that even the worst things that happen, God is in that. God is in everything. God is in this chair I'm sitting in. So everything. I believe that there is really only one force, and that is God. But however, our thoughts and the things that we believe and the things that we allow to penetrate into our thoughts can cause us to miscreate or just fall slightly short of what we really want to experience. So we really wanted to just kind of talk about that and just kind of throw out this podcast really quickly about co-creating, because that is exactly what this podcast is, truly. This podcast was really a co-creation. And when I tell you, everything fell in line for it to happen, because I didn't even know the first thing about podcasting, all right? I just knew that desire was planted. It was a call. I said, okay. I answered. I said, okay, I can do it. But after that, because I said okay, and I put that out into the universe, everything came to me that I needed to get started. Every single thing. And I didn't have to go anywhere to get it. It fell in my lap. So you're co-creating every day. And that could be good or bad. I just recommend stick with good. Stick with what's good for the greater good of all of humanity, for, you know, your family. Stick with good. And good is going to come back to you.
And you know, before we go, like some of the things that can help magnetize more good are things like gratitude.
Yes.
Things like being of service. Like, don't be constantly serving self. Serve others. Like, every day you should want to know, like, that you've contributed something to the world. Like, who did you make smile today? Who did you make happy? Like, who did you show love to today?
Yeah. There's like a lot of things that we could put out into the world. You're doing it every day. You're doing it every day with what you're thinking, what you're saying to other people, and then what you're doing. So just know that when things are happening to you, where did you create this same energy that you're experiencing? Because we do get everything that we put out back to us. So just put out good, and good will come. It is law. It is law.
Yeah, let's touch on one more thing, because there are a lot of people out here teaching like the law of attraction. They're teaching, they keep your thoughts positive, things of that nature, right? Like, for example, Think and Grow Rich, one of the best-selling books of all time. Then also in scripture, it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, right? But even if you just thought all positive thoughts, that's good. It'll put you in the right direction. But a lot of times, we as a people are dealing with childhood traumas, generational curses, things of that nature. We must also heal first to maximize the potential of positive thinking and bringing that positive energy in. So it's like, don't be in denial. All of us have dealt with something, you know what I mean? And it doesn't always have to be super traumatic, but it could be little things like you were bullied, or, you were the middle child or the only child, or, whatever. It's like there are usually these things that people carry with them into their adulthood. And those things are what are actually holding them back, So, and a lot of people think going getting counseling and things of that nature is weak or negative or whatever, but it could be a positive thing. Matter of fact, it is for most people.
Yeah, it absolutely is. There's going to come a point, and everyone has to experience it, where you have to make a decision. You're going to have to choose what route you take. And when you get that knock on your door, you'll know it. You can't mistake it. So you're going to either choose love or you're going to choose fear. And sometimes you don't know that you're choosing fear because you want to choose what's comfortable. You choose what's familiar. You choose what you've always known, even though that's not what you really want. It's not what your heart desires. It's not what you really desire to do.
It may have been handed down to you.
Yeah, so everyone is gonna get that knock, and you probably got it. You probably got it more than once or twice, but when that knock comes, know that it is to evolve your soul to the next level, to the next higher level, because everyone is going to get the call. Everyone will. And you just have to make the right decision. So, and it's okay. Like, there is no bad decision. There's just more testing, more of the same that's going to keep coming until you choose to evolve. And that's what it's really about. It's choosing to evolve versus choosing what's comfortable and staying what you know, right? So sometimes we have to go the route that we don't know, because that's what faith really is. It's knowing that this is it. I can't see all the steps, but I know that this feels good. This feels better for me. That's it.
Take the road, let's travel.
Yeah. All right, anything else? We wanted to keep this really short and powerful about how we co-create our reality, and abundance, prosperity, love. All of this is for all of us to have. It is our birthright. It is for you to have. It's for me to have. It's for us to have. It's for our kids to have. Generationally, it is for us to have. We can't just say that that's what we want. You have to embody some of this. You have to take this on. You have to be it. You cannot say what you want without being it. You have to align with the vibration. You got to tune into the dial. You got to tap in and tune in and turn on to what you want.
Right, because the universe, it doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you feel.
Exactly.
So you could be saying one thing with your mouth, but your heart is emoting.
And what's a feeling?
Something
A
else.
feeling is a desire. It's like, yes, like, ooh, I desire that. I feel that. I want that. That's what the universe
is going to respond
will
to.
respond to. So you can't just be like, yeah, I want love. Does that feel...
But deep down
Did you
inside,
feel
feeling
that?
unworthy of love, you're not
Right, exactly. But if I just sit here and be like, I want love, but this
Be
monotone just makes it sound like I'm not worthy of love. No, you want
But you know
love.
something? Before we go, let's say this real quick.
All right, last thing.
But if a person wants love, whatever it is that you want, you have to become it, right?
Absolutely.
So if you want love, be love, and what is that like? Self-love, like show that you love yourself, like eat right, exercise, read, pray, meditate, do
Love
all,
others.
right? Yeah, love
Be
others.
kind to others. Be
But
compassionate.
love yourself first.
Love
'Cause
yourself
you can't
first.
you can't give somebody what you don't already have.
No,
So
all
it's
love stems from self-love.
There you go.
Absolutely. And if you want abundance, you have to align with abundance. And abundance has very little to do with money. Money is just an energy. Money is simply just an energy. It's just an energy exchange. That's all money is. Abundance is peace. Abundance is feeling
Joy.
good. It's health. It is
Happiness.
happiness. It is having healthy relationships. It's having exactly love. That's abundant. And when you're in that flow of abundance, you're going to get more of it back to you. Co-creating.
Service.
Exactly. Co-creating. All right, guys. So we are about done. We're at 26 minutes and we wanted to keep it under 30. So this was all about how you co-create your experience every single day. And I like to call it miscreations, all right? When things don't quite happen the way you want it to, just learn, what did you do? What did you put out? How did you create it? And it's either within your thoughts, your words, your actions, your beliefs. It's something that you created and you didn't quite get it. So I always say, create and focus only on the things that you want to happen. I don't even concern myself with the things that I don't want to happen. I only speak and believe and focus and think and act on the things that I want to happen in my life.
And you'll see more of that start to show up in your life.
That's it. All right, guys. This was Janie and Russ, hosts of Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. This podcast is inspired by all things of the heart and soul. We appreciate every one of you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share our podcast. And we will check you guys later at the next episode. We're going to go get some more sun. Take care.